good. Right.
Can you handle it? Are you brave enough? Can you face a challenge? Are you tough enough?
You guys know
Are you ready to join the team? We're keeping our world clean. Let's all work together. Come join us. We're rocking it out.
Today, we are back in the picturesque Greyton village, a small town that's inspired by the idea of living in harmony with the earth and all it has to offer.
This week, the Rough Kids learn all about sustainable living in Greyton. But before we delve into sustainable living, let's check out what the Rough Kids got up to last week.
Last week, the Rough Kids visited the Penguin Sanctuary in Klein Bay, where they kicked off by filleting fish.
The guts are coming out.
Next up, they had to prepare a penguin crate before finishing off with a feeding challenge.
Maar omdat ik weet dat ik is vinnig gereis om, het ek nog geweet dat ek dit gaan wen.
In the end, we tied the challenge, and I guess we were all grateful that we hadn't lost another one.
The day ended on a draw with both teams earning 5 rough points, putting the Wildcats on 45 to the Sea Warriors 40. Whose game will it be today? In the last challenge, things were both fishy and fun. And today's challenge, you will be hands-on with sustainable living.
Greyton may be a small town, but it is fast becoming a model town for eco-friendly and conscious living.
But before we brief you on today's challenge, our rough guide Marshall will tell you about the Greyton Transition Town.
So guys, what is a transition town? In a nutshell, I'm just going to explain to you what it is. So basically, it's to transition from one point to another in terms of being self-sustainable as much as possible, in terms of your food supply, in terms of what you're buying, in terms of your consumerism. So basically, we are a NGO looking at how we can better manage our waste systems, see how we can better manage our water systems, but most of all to see how can we localize our food, how can we depend less on stuff that's imported. In terms of our food supply, we look at how can we empower small-scale farmers to actually empower them to sell their stuff at our local markets.
People, they just want to use plastic, and some people don't really care about the environment, which is really bad. But I thought it was really cool how like Greyton does care about it, and literally like the whole town is just like growing food, and like everyone's contributing. It's like the olden days.
So the idea is to not to depend too much on our current system, where our food comes from and where our water comes from, and how can we sustain ourselves as much as possible as human beings.
Rough Kids, I hope you were listening during the tour, because in today's challenge, we will see how well you transition from city kids to eco kids.
Marshall, will you please explain to the Rough Kids how today's challenges will work?
Good guys, good morning, how are you guys doing? So guys, today you have 3 challenges again. This is all to do with our transition town movement waste management methods that we're working with in our town. So the first one will be that where you guys have to sort out non-recyclable plastics and recyclable plastics that will be part of your challenge. So with this specific challenge, each of the teams will sort out the different types of plastics, non-recyclables and recyclables, soft and hard plastics, and that you will need for your next challenge. All understand?
Yes.
For stage 1, the teams will have to sort plastics into recyclable and non-recyclable. They only have 5 minutes to complete this challenge.
Every bits and pieces, all the little bits and pieces, everything.
During the challenges, I didn't realize that so much plastic cannot be recycled. I thought most of it could, so that was like something new that I found out.
Guys, let's look for the sign.
What sign?
The sign saying
you
it's just...
can use again.
I don't see the sign saying it's recyclable.
The challenge was to sort out the reusable plastics and the non-reusable plastics. That challenge was very easy for us because it is just sorting out the ones that we could use and the ones that we could not use.
Okay, and if you're not sure, check at the packaging because it'll say recyclable.
These are recyclable. Yeah, not recyclable. Yeah. Okay. When we were sorting through the plastic, it was a little hard because we didn't really quite know what was recyclable and non-recyclable.
Okay, so the Sea Warriors are sorting through the recyclable materials to find out what is recyclable and what isn't.
So toe ons nou hoor dat ons 'n recyclable challenge moet doen, het ek geweet dat ek weet wat recyclable is en wat nie recycle is nie. En ons het eintlik daai challenge baie gou gedoen, want die challenges was eintlik baie gou.
So this is like one of the hard plastics, so we're putting it in the non-recyclable because we have a lot of those kind of things. And lots of Whiskers packets because they're non-recyclable.
Okay, teams, are you ready to show me your plastics?
Okay, Sea Warriors, you need to choose one team member to present your non-recyclable products to Marshall.
All right, Wildcats, so you need to choose one representative to present the non-recyclable plastics to Marshall.
You ready, guys?
Guys, are you ready?
Are you ready? Yes. Okay, let's see.
Okay, so up for the Sea Warriors will be Georgia.
The Wildcats have chosen Caitlin to represent their team.
For our team, we sorted the plastics into non-recyclable and recyclable and reusable. There weren't that many in our pile. We included some of plastics that are actually non-recyclable but can be used again for other things.
Okay, so this pile is our non-recyclable pile. So we've got our big packets of like hard plastic, and a lot of them are ripped so you can use them again. And then we've also got our metallic-y kind of plastic, so like chip packets and cat food packets. And then in our reusable and recyclable, we've got things like bread packets because you could use it again if you wanted to put bread in there, and things that are recyclable, like softer plastics.
Sea Warriors, thank you so much for sorting out your waste. Let me check. So this seems like your reusable ones, is that correct? Yeah, beautiful. Keep that pile there. And obviously this is your non-recyclables, which will be used in your next stage. Perfect, I'm happy with that. Guys have done a good job, well done. And then, Wildcats, let me just check. So obviously this is your reusable plastics, perfect, it's all intact, good sorting. And then we have your non-recyclable waste, which you'll use for your next challenge. And I am absolutely happy with that. So well done, Wildcats.
After the break, we see who's managing their waste and who's wasting their time.
Okay, Rough Kids, we're at stage 2. Marshall will tell you what you need to do.
So, right, Rough Kids, for this specific challenge, you will need your non-recyclable plastics that you guys have gathered earlier for this specific challenge. So each of you guys will get an empty plastic bottle, and you will need to stuff all that non-recyclables in the plastic bottles, which you will make an eco brick. So what is the eco brick? An eco brick is basically an empty bottle that is stuffed with your non-recyclable waste that you actually make a brick of to build. So instead of all this plastics going to landfill or to your water source, you actually stuff it in a brick and build with it either benches or an outdoor classroom or anything that one can build with a brick.
So Marshall told us that an eco brick is when, instead of using bricks and having to like make new materials, you can take plastic bottles and use non-recyclable plastics and just stuff them in so that they're very dense and heavy like a brick, and then make houses or schools or benches out of them.
According to Marshall, an eco brick takes a long time, and you guys will only have 10 minutes, so do as much as you can. Are you guys ready?
Yes!
Your time starts now.
Each team will need to make a functional eco brick according to Marshall's instructions.
Lebo is using a stick to shove in the plastic.
Guys, rather rip it up. It's better ripped up.
And I think what's quite nice about this, that there's quite a few techniques that you can, so if you find out the formula or technique, it can actually go quite quick. So it all depends on you guys. How lovely is this that the kids actually contributing to the environment? All of these plastic were just going to landfill, leaching into our soil and into our water sources. So guys, well done on that.
At first, our strategy was to put the smaller things in, like we put lots of cat packets and the chip packets.
What is your technique, guys?
We're rolling up all the small pieces of plastic.
So it's ripping and stuffing.
So when we first started stuffing them in, they weren't really like going in that easily. So then we started tearing them up and twisting them, because twisting them makes them thinner and we can put it in the bottle.
You can just like put in and Lebo can use the stick to push it down.
Okay, make it compact at the bottom so get it as like tight as you can.
Dan moet nie baie asem in die bottel wees nie, dit moet dens wees. En ons het ons op eco-brick gemaak en daar was nie baie asem in ons ding nie, want Lebo het eintlik sy krag uitgehaal om dit af te stoot met die stok.
Yeah, we shouldn't have put
Lebo
the
is trying to squish it as much as possible to get this brick as tight as it can possibly be.
Right, guys, so just keep in mind that it has to be nice and dense. There must be no air in. Otherwise, we can't use it. Now, guys, it has to be nice and tight.
When we had to make our ego brick, we thought Katie already had the bottle by her and the stick already by her. So she said that we should all just tear them apart and put them in, tear them apart and put them by her, and she'll throw them in.
So the plan now is to shred the plastics into pieces. Yes. All right.
I think it's a lot easier now for us to work as a team because everyone accepts that each job has a special role to play, even if it isn't the most exciting. And the jobs always like switch roles, so if you don't actually want to be doing it, we're always happy for someone else to swap around.
The Wildcats have a technique called shred and shove. While the other teammates shred, Caitlin is busy shoving it in the bottle. Nice teamwork, Wildcats.
Yeah, so it seems to me with a minute left, the competition is quite tight. A lot of stuffing and shoving around and turning and popping in. Quite exciting times.
And it was hard to do because it was taking long and the time was going so fast and we were all just stressing.
So for that one, I think we actually worked really well as a team because we were all just like ripping out the plastic and putting it in.
And then once it got full enough, we had to take the stick and we shove it in the bottle, and it would get higher. The bottle would get full, more full and more full and more full.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and your time is up. Leave your sticks. Leave your stick.
Nothing is wasted in the Greyton transition town. And because you guys did so well in your last challenge, you'll get to see the fruits of your labor.
All right, rough kids, for this challenge, get ready to roll up your sleeves for some muddy fun. Marshall will tell you what you need to do.
Right, guys, so for your final challenge, this is quite exciting. You're gonna build with us. So guys, but please remember, there's one or two things that I want you guys to remember for me. First of all, you guys are gonna mix your clay, which is just clay, water and sand. But please remember, there needs to be a specific context of your clay. It needs to be like a glue, like a cement. If it's too watery, your brick or your eco brick is not gonna stick well. But that also goes with, so you guys will mix your clay in a mixture, and then after that you guys is going to add one layer to our beautiful outdoor classroom just behind me here.
Okay, rough kids, you'll have 20 minutes to complete this challenge. Wildcats, you're up first. Each team will need to lay one row of eco bricks to add to the eco classroom. They will also need to prepare their own mortar mix.
What you guys can do is just mix it first before you put in the water. Just mix the clay and the water nicely together.
Look, this is how you mix it.
Just mix it as a cement. So the sand and the clay is actually kind of become one.
So we started and we all started on the clay. So we were throwing the water in little by little because we didn't want it to be too watery.
That's very good, guys. My favorite challenge overall was probably adding a layer to the outdoor classroom, because I thought it would be kind of cool, you know, to actually make a difference to help their community.
Put loads more water in there, I think.
Making another.
In our final challenge, we had to make our own clay. We had to have sand, we had to have mud, and we had to have water.
Ayanda, can you take the sand and put it around the outside?
dry and then in the middle.
It's wet. So
Yeah.
you need to get that dry sand
With
nice
that,
and
yeah.
wet.
Let's take this.
So when we mixed it together, we first made like a volcano, and we threw the water in the volcano, and every time we would like close the volcano and we opened a new hole, and when it got just right, we started going on the plank, and Kotha and Ayanda was mixing while me and Katie was like putting on the mud and the bottles.
Who's building as a team and who still needs team building? Find out after the break.
Before the break, the Rough Kids started building with eco bricks.
In our final challenge, we had to make our own clay. We had to have sand, we had to have mud, and we had to have water.
Let's catch up with them as they continue. How's it going, guys?
Pretty well.
Nice. Looking good.
It feels nice and mushy and cold, very cold.
Feels nice.
Then Ayanda and I took the bottom and we were doing that and making it right, and the outskirts, because the outskirts was dry and we didn't mix the outskirts, so Ayanda and I was just perfecting it.
Is this okay?
Feel, that's just perfect. You're getting some good clay mixes here, yeah.
It was a very good teamwork because they were mixing and they were passing us the clay. And Katie went to go fish the bottles and I went to go fish the bottles, and we started packing and packing and packing and packing.
Okay, I'm bringing in reinforcements. Guys, can I help you?
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, just bricks first.
I'm helping the
Stuff can
Wildcats.
get dry. Brick, please.
Doing good for the community.
So the team is actually on it. We have someone that's doing some nice checking on their last minutes, which is nice.
And we started packing the bottles and layering the clay and making it look nice, so because they say that the presentation must look very nice.
Okay, guys, 2 more bottles, please.
And it must look very good, so we were trying to make it as neat as possible, while packing it next to each other very closely, and on top we will make it stable.
10 seconds remaining. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Quality is better than quantity, and the Wildcats have got that down. Let's go see how the Sea Warriors do.
Right, guys, so what I want you guys to do, so just be careful with the spade and working with the hands together. So you guys decide if you're going to work with the spade or just with your hands.
Why don't we first start with hands and then we do the spade?
Okay, so first before the water, just mix the clay nice in the bottom as well.
It's like biscuits.
Make a little pit there so you can actually get all the clay and sand as one.
So making the clay was really easy. We just took sand and clay and then we mixed it with water.
As you pour,
And you just like mix together with your hands, or you can do it with a spade, but we decided to do it with our hands.
And you can't add any more sand or clay, so your eco-brick is not going to stick. So make sure that you add your water consistently as you need.
I love making the clay because I love getting dirty. It's really weird, but also it just feels so nice and like soft. I think we struggled with knowing how much water to add because we would add and then mix. Whereas I think if we had known exactly how much, we could have added it all at once and then mixed it, which would have been quicker.
All the bottles on first and then put clay, or should we put clay on?
No, so you just use it as normal as you would build with bricks. You put your cement or your clay and then pack it on top.
Ons moes eers die patroon uitwerk van die muur en ons het gesê dat die patroon wys eers die toppies dan die agterkant.
Oh, it feels so nice and squishy and like, oh, I could like bath in it. So we started off with just, like Tiffany and I would put the clay there on the table for them and pass them the bottles, and they had started building, but that was going pretty slowly. So instead we did that. Tiffany and I built from the one side and they put it from the other.
Water. Get it nice and wet, more.
Must we put more clay on?
So you're gonna put all the clay on what you have here.
Well, my favorite challenge that I enjoyed the most was the building of the wall using a mixture of sand and clay and with water, and then also we had to use eco bricks. That is my most favorite one because I never built a wall before in my life, especially out of recycled material.
It's actually a good technique that they have.
So like you can make a patty out of this, then it will easily stick.
It looks like Tiffany is making mud burgers.
Ons patroon was om te follow dat dit die doppies moet wys en ons het klei gelê en ons het die bottels opgesit en ons het baie gou daardeur gegaan.
So you put clay at the bottom layer and then you squish the bottles into that. So we just did that the whole way through, but I think ours wasn't very neat. Our bottles were kind of like not all in a line very well.
Yeah.
Sea Warriors, your time is up in 3, 2, 1, stop. After literally getting down and dirty, the Sea Warriors are finally done with their final challenge. While the challenges here in Roughing It Out are a whole lot of fun and exciting, and to get to learn new things, we have to choose a winner.
While both teams did really well in today's challenges, our rough guide Marshall was paying attention to how you guys did in your performance and your attitude.
So guys, I'm very excited to announce the winner for these challenges. But coming down to the first challenge, which was very interesting, where you guys had to sort from your non-recyclables to your recyclable plastics. And for that specific challenge, the winner for that challenge goes to the Wildcats. So guys, well done for teamwork. It's fantastic. The second challenge was where you had to use your non-recyclable plastics and actually make a functional eco-brick, which was actually a nice learning curve for you guys as well. So the winner for that specific challenge goes to the Sea Warriors. Well done guys for your team effort, and I hope you guys have learned a bit as well of your plastics. And for the third but the last challenge, where you guys got nice and muddy and dirty, which was nice, and that goes to the Wildcats. So guys, well done for that effort.
When Marshall announced the winners, we were excited because in the beginning, the Sea Warriors was winning and things. So we felt that we needed to catch up. So now we did catch up and we won and things. So we were all excited and we were jumping for joy.
Congratulations, Wildcats. You have earned yourselves 10 rough points.
After all that messy fun, the rough kids are off to get cleaned while we take a look at the scoreboard. So after a grueling day, it was the Wildcats who raked in 10 rough points, stretching their lead to 55 points to the Sea Warriors' 40 points.
The rough kids have had fun exploring the great and transition town and will carry with them the life lessons learnt about sustainable living forever.
Join us next week as the rough kids take on all new challenges and explore all new adventures.
So like you can make a patty out of this, then it will easily stick.
Well done for